Everybody keeps saying it's going to get better. How is it going to get better? Our economy is so fucked that I work a full-time job. I make $21 an hour working 40 hours a week. I have no extra expenses, no bills out of my living. I have one credit card that's maxed because I've lived off of it, but other than that, I don't have cable. I haven't had cable in 10 years. We have cell phones, but, you know, that's required to live on. But other than that, nothing extra. On paper, my bills are $2,701. My income is $2,710. Do the math. $9 a month before I pay for food, gas, car repairs, any entertainment. There's no money for that. And my car is dying. It's paid for, so I don't have car payments now that I'm going to replace. And I don't know how to do that on $9 a month. $9 to feed myself, $9 to buy a car, $9 for insurance. Yeah. So at the end of the day, this is me because I worked 8.5 hours a day knowing that it's not enough, that it won't be enough. Fuck you, Ontario.
Well, I made the mistake of turning on the news, and I listened to some of Trump talking in front of the Department of Justice, spewing his goddamn lies, telling things about us, about Americans. I can't stand that man. And now I find out I have pneumonia, and I can't march tomorrow. Hold up the truth, warriors. Hold it up for me. I can't be with you.
Y'all want to know one real reason why America's crashing out like crazy right now? Mediocrity don't hit like it used to, baby. See, once upon a time in America, you could be real mid and still thrive. Mediocre effort, boom, you get a house, car, annual vacation, pension, hell, maybe even a boat. You could clock in, coast through the week, grill on Sundays, and still retire with dignity. But that era is dead and gone, baby. And instead of leveling up or adapting, they're mad, they're bitter, and they're not even blaming the billionaires. They blaming you. They have the audacity to blame me. They blaming immigrants, black people, queer folk, anyone they think is taking something that used to be theirs by default. See, they don't want equality. They want comfort. And when mediocrity no longer gets them that comfort, they start rewriting the rules to rig the game again. It ain't about fairness. It's about preserving the lie. The lie that being average should still be enough for them.
Talk about how miserable white people are for a second. Like, you know that white people are miserable, right? Like, have you ever looked a white person in the eye, even if they're like a big mental health person? You just look deep down and you're like, brother, you are not happy at all. And truly, it breaks my heart. But one reason, I think, one of the main reasons that a lot of white people, a lot of us are really unhappy and miserable is because we lack internal congruence. Now, congruence is a concept we learned early in grad school to help people heal. And congruence is basically internal alignment. Values and actions are on the same page, right? Like, we accept every part of ourselves. We feel peace, security in who we are, congruence. And no matter how hard you try, you can never find internal congruence if you're not congruent with the world around you. If you're not understanding what's real and seeing reality and affirming what's true. So like white people who deny patriarchy and capitalism's negative effect and oppression of the world and genocide that's happening around the world, like that's incongruent with reality. That is going to have an effect on us internally. Because to deny what's happening in real time, we have to deny certain parts of us, certain emotions, certain thoughts that come up. And the more we run for that, the more incongruent and separate we feel, the more dissonance that comes, the more miserable we are. And a lot of times we're not actually dealing with our own pain and our own reality because we're all suffering under capitalism and white supremacy. Like it affects us different ways in intersectionality, but like it affects us white people too. You don't think a stormtrooper in the fucking Star Wars movies hates his life? You don't think he hates being bossed around all the time? You don't think poor white people living in the empire, like in a city walls, like in a Game of Thrones, like you don't think that they're miserable under it, even though they're not miserable the most? To be congruent inside, to not be miserable anymore, it takes accepting the realities of the world, seeing how those toxic systems affect us, and then moving to actually be congruent. Because deep down, humanity has goodness at its center. So yeah, white people, we're miserable because we're not congruent, because we're denying the realities of the world, and thus denying ourselves.
What's up guys, welcome back to the channel once again. So guys, the silence of black Americans, it is killing white people in America. We have been seeing how white Americans right now, they are really suffering, and also we have been seeing how majority of them, they cannot even afford basic necessity. So while these white folks, the Maga people, they are suffering, black people, they have decided to stay silent, and the silence of the black Americans, it is now threatening white Americans. So kindly guys, I want you to watch this video and see how white people, they are drowning in poverty while black people, they are watching, black people, they are staying silent. Watch this till the end, then I'll be back with more comment.
Conservatives and anyone who believes in right-wing ideology are really pitiful people. Look at it this way. We live in such a cultural and historically rich world. There are 195 countries in the world with so much beautiful music, cuisine, amazing art and history, and amazing people. And so rather than embracing this vast, beautiful earth that we live on, conservatives have chosen to make their world small, to live in this delusional reality where there has to be hierarchy amongst countries and cultures. And as someone who's traveled to more than 30 countries now, I think it's one of the most pathetic things ever. Because what I've learned from traveling and speaking to people from all over the world is that there are so many beautiful things that link us together as people. I remember when I first moved to Germany and I was learning German, and I found a linguistic connection between German and Jamaican patois. So in Jamaican patois, we say shub, which means push. And I remember one day in my German class, we learned the word for push, which is schubst. And I was like, that can't be a coincidence. So I decided to Google it, and I learned that there is this German-Jamaican connection where Western Germans moved to Jamaica after slavery was abolished and ran plantations there. And that's why we have Germantown in Jamaica. And a lot of white Jamaicans have German ancestry. And there were so many times where I was living in different countries or even traveling, and I saw a type of food, a piece of art that reminded me of somewhere else. And an integral part of traveling for me is sharing parts of my culture and perspectives with other people. But what you'll find with a lot of right-wing people is that they have a weakened sense of self. Their cultural identity is extremely weak, and this is why they have to rely on the hierarchy and the subjugation of others to feel like they have some sort of belonging in the world. They can only experience belonging by feeling better than someone else. Whereas a lot of us who have strong cultural ties, we don't need that hierarchy because a lot of us already know who we are. We have a strong sense of culture and belonging. And I think it is one of the most privileged things to have. Going through this world with open eyes and open arms and fully experiencing life for what it was meant to be. Beautiful. Not this miserable existence being plagued by hatred, but it's really hatred for themselves that they love to project onto other people.
It's being said that young white men have been radicalized because they've been disenfranchised. And there's some truth to that. But I believe that their disenfranchisement has been the result of the unfulfilled promises of privilege. Like, their complaint is that, I'm 27, I'm 30 years old, and I have no financial, economic, or romantic prospects. And newsflash, that's literally what people of color and marginalized groups have been complaining about for decades, for generations, about their lack of prospects in this country. That has actually actively led to their disenfranchisement, well, our disenfranchisement, because I'm one of them. But we worked and we learned our way out of that so that we wouldn't be in a position where we elected into leadership our actual oppressors. See, young white men don't view or identify older white males as their oppressors because they look like them, because they're their dads and their uncles. But unfortunately, the fact that those promises of privilege have not been fulfilled for them, that the entitlement that they have been raised in, and ingrained within them, the fact that all of this is yours and for you and, as divine by the will of God, and none of it should you have to work for, which is part of what their complaint is. And they don't want a competitive space in a competitive world. The chant in Charlottesville, Jews will not replace us. This fear of being replaced because in a competitive marketplace, you haven't been bred for generations to compete. You have been told that you were entitled to all of it, and it is your birthright. So you haven't competed. You haven't improved yourself. You haven't built skills to put you in a place to compete with the people of color who have been told their whole lives for generations, twice as hard for half as much. But again, the radicalization of these young white males is just the unfulfilled promises of privilege. But now you find yourself in a space where you are facing the same world as the groups that have been marginalized by your fathers and your grandfathers. So I think the solution is to actually find yourself unifying with these marginalized groups who have worked so hard to scale and achieve. And I know that's a big blow to your ego, because you've been told your whole life and for generations that they are less than you, that they are beneath you, that they are inherently genetically inferior to you. Which I understand how that contributes to your rage, because these people who you have been told and made to believe are inferior to you have accelerated far beyond you. But that's not their fault, because they were never told that they deserved all of it by birth. It's the fault of your fathers and your grandfathers who withheld this from you. No immigrant took your job. Your father and your grandfathers and your uncles gave them to them. They preferred them to you because they will work harder for less money. The solution for you is to work harder and to unify with these people so that we all can live in a competitive society with fair compensation for fair work. And right now you're at a point in history where you have the choice to either unify with the oppressed or identify with the oppressors. Make the right choice.
Just finished a morning run, sweating bullets, but I have to say this while I'm thinking about it. Almost every week I see someone ask the question, why are white men so angry? And while I cannot begin to expound on the many reasons why that might be, what I can say is this: I view all social problems through a lens of societal systems, because as a sociologist, that's what I'm trained to do. And here is the design flaw in systems of privilege. When you build systems of hierarchy and privilege, when you build systems of hierarchy and privilege, the privilege is actually what weakens you. The privilege makes you weak because when you socialize an entire group of people to believe that I exist, therefore I deserve. I exist, therefore I am entitled. I exist, therefore the path of prosperity should be laid out very cleanly ahead of me, and I don't have to work hard, and I don't have to struggle, and I don't have to dig deep. I just have to receive. Meanwhile, you are socializing all other groups to survive with less resources, with less privilege. And so as a byproduct of their survival, they are becoming adaptable, resilient, creative, resourceful. They are developing the muscle for survival that they subsequently turn into systems for success and prosperity. Meanwhile, the privileged group is not developing these systems. And when they start to see the disenfranchised group becoming stronger, gaining opportunities, building systems of success, rather than say, hey, maybe we ought to be doing that too, no. Privilege doubles down. Privilege digs deep into the well of anger and grievance and says, you are the reason why I can't be successful. You are taking opportunities away from me and my children and generations. And so now, rather than develop the muscle of resilience, what I'm going to do now is start taking privileges away from you. And now I'm going to start taking your resources, and now I'm going to start burning your house down in hopes that you will get back to where I think you ought to be, which is underneath me. Not realizing that the more you do that, the more privileges you take away, the more systems of success you try to dismantle, you are only making them more creative, more adaptable, more resilient, and more resourceful. So it becomes this Ouroboros, this snake eating its own tail, because the very system that you designed to uplift yourself is actually the one that is putting you far behind, because you never develop the muscle, the work ethic, the resilience, the innovation, and the creativity as the disenfranchised group.
So the white Americans are in Mexico as usual, causing problems to the Mexican citizens there. I mean, how dare you go to someone else's country to retire? Because you're a guest, literally, you're a guest there. This is not your home. You're there, you're retired, whatever you're doing, vacation, and then y'all go there and complain about what they do every day that's a part of who they are, their culture, and their way of life, because it inconveniences you. And then now some of y'all upset that they're taking to the streets and protesting your existence in their country. Your existence there. They're destroying your properties that you have built, the businesses that you've built there, that's driving their economy up, the cost of living up for them. And y'all upset. Go Mexico. Keep up the good work.
Can someone please explain to me why conservative white men feel they are under attack in the United States? Because the last time I checked, every single U.S. president has been a man. Only one of those men has been a man of color. White men have never been enslaved in this country. White men have never been denied their right to vote in this country, nor has that ever been on the fucking table. Just because people want the same rights that you've always had doesn't mean that you're the victim.
So guys, I hope you have watched that video and you have seen how white Americans, they are really suffering in America, especially those MAGA people who voted for this administration. Majority of them, they have been coming out regretting for voting for this administration. You know, for a very long time, we have been seeing Black Americans, how they have been suffering in America for over 500 years. Black Americans, they have been suffering in America. They've gone a lot of struggle and challenges in America, but these white folks, they have never come out and try to help black people. But this time around, you can see these people, they went ahead and vote for racism. These people, they went ahead and vote to punish black Americans. But right now, we can see the people who are really suffering, it is them, the white folks. We have been seeing how majority of them, they have been losing their jobs. We have been seeing how they cannot even afford basic necessity. They cannot even pay their house rent. They cannot even pay their mortgage. So majority of white Americans right now, they are really furious. And while they are going through all these challenges and the struggle, they are seeing black Americans, they have stayed silent. You know, black people, the reasons why black people that stay silent is where during the election period, during the campaign, black Americans, they try to warn these MAGA people not to vote in for this administration, but these MAGA people, they didn't listen. They went ahead and vote to punish black Americans. But right now, you can see the same punishment they voted to punish black people in America. It is the same punishment right now they are going through, and that's why majority of them, they are furious. And also black Americans, they have decided not to help them. Black Americans, they are now staying silent. They are now telling them that you are the guys who brought all this problem and you need to deal it with yourself. So don't try to bring black people in your problem, because when black people, they needed your help, you guys, you have never come out and try to help black Americans. Black Americans, they have been complaining how they are, how the system, it is always against them, how they are struggling, how the challenges and the problem that they have been facing in America. But these white folks, they have never come out and try to solve the problems of black Americans. So right now, you can see they are suffering and they want black people to speak. But I'm so happy to see black people, they have decided to stay silent. And you guys, you know, the silent, it is the best weapon that you can give in this world. By staying silent, you can win any fight. And that's why you can see black Americans, they have decided to stay silent. And these people, they are furious because when these people, they were protesting in No King's Day, they expected black Americans to come out and protest, but black sorry, but black Americans, they refused to come out and join them to protest on the No Kings Day. So because of that, also it triggers these people. These people, they thought that, yeah, black people, it is like black people, they are not suffering. It is like black people, they are okay with this hard economy. But you guys, you know that black people, they know how to survive even if the economy it is not favoring them. Black people, they know to survive in a hard economy. Black Americans, they have been living how they've in the entire life, like 400 years. Black people, they've been living with challenges and the struggle, and they know how to overcome that. But these white folks right now, they don't know how to overcome that, because for all along, what these people they have been knowing is challenges and the struggle, it is only for black people. They usually say challenges and the struggle, it is not for them, it is only for black people. But right now they are realizing that all the challenges and the struggle that black Americans have been going through, it was not only for them, also them, they are now going through to those challenges and the struggle. So guys, I want to read you some of the crazy comment here and see what majority of people they have come out and say. And also guys, remember, you can share your thought on the comment section. I'll be reading it and see what you guys you are sharing on the comment section. So this one is saying that black Americans live through slavery, and the real suffering it's in the DNA, and will make it through this. Exactly, black Americans lived through slavery. You can see black Americans, they lived through slavery, and real suffering, these people suffering, it is on the DNA, and these people, they know how to make it through the suffering and the challenges that they've been going through. But these white folks, they don't know. This one saying that because black people are used to having to struggle and survive on little or nothing. This one is saying that racism is expensive. Exactly, I've been living telling you that these people, they went ahead and vote for racism. Right now they are realizing that racism, it is very expensive, because these people, like the white farmers, they went ahead and vote for deportation, knowing that the people who are helping them in the farms, they are immigrant people, and they went ahead and vote for deportation. So they voted these people to be kicked out of America, and they will bring black Americans to come and work in their farms like the days of slavery. But black Americans, they refuse to come and work in the field, and because of that, the white farmers that have been going bankrupt, they've been losing their crops, and majority of them, they've been coming out crying for help. So right now they're realizing that racism, it is very expensive. This one is saying that after 400 years of it, we don't have no more tears to shed. That time is over. Exactly. So right now, a time for black people to shed tears, it is over. This one saying that, why are they crying? They vote for this. Exactly, I don't know why these people that usually come out crying and that the ones who voted for this. This one saying that they thought the white elite cared about them. They just used you for your easy racist vote. Exactly, this one saying that they are blaming everyone but the filth rich, who are the real problem in our society. This one is saying that black people are used to suffering, that it is why we don't cry most of the time. They are just starting to feel the pain we have felt since the foundation of this country being built. I wish us all the strength through those challenges time. This was saying that you got what you asked for. Are you happy? Is America great yet? Exactly, these people, they are now, they got what they voted for. I think these people, they should be very happy, and these people, they voted to make America great again. This is how America, it is becoming great again. This one saying that, welcome to the real world we all have been living in for generations. So right now, whatever these people that are going through right now in America, it is the same how black people that have been going through for over 400 years. So whatever, how they are crying, black people, they've cried for a very long time, and they are used to it. So right now, it is like black people, they are welcoming them to see how how they've been going, to see how the challenges and the struggle that black Americans have been going through. This one is saying that because we already know how to struggle, this one saying that their privilege are fading. They thought they had a free ride. Exactly. So this one saying that black folks ain't coming to pick nothing. best to believe that. This one saying that racism is expensive. Look, honey, every black woman that I know have 2 jobs. One of them has 3. If you can't make it with one, get a part a time. This one saying that God told us to be silent in spirit, but to pray fraternity. This one saying that black people have learned how to survive in America for many years. This is not new for us. Struggle has always been part of life for our people. Exactly. So this one saying that soon there will be no middle class, only the rich and poor. Exactly. Soon in America there will be no rich class, it is only rich and the poor. This one saying that they are mad because even during this hard time we are still doing Cupid shuffle. This one saying that I grew up in the project, I am a survivor, welcome to the party, I hope you bought ice for the cooler. This one saying that so true, they can't survive because they are so used to getting the privilege handout. Exactly. These white folks, they have been using to get privilege and handout. You can see where the SNAP benefit just ended, and you can see the people who are really coming out and crying. It is the white folks. You can see how the government ended the Medicare, and also majority of Americans also, they were so hungry with the government. So right now these people, they are crying because the government, it is ending their benefit. You can see how the white farmers, they have been getting so many handout, so they've been getting so much privilege, but this time round you can see also they've been crying. So kindly guys, you can also share your thoughts in the comment section. I'll be reading it in my next video. Thank you so much guys. Subscribe if you haven't, like this video, share, and also comment. See you on my next one guys. Bye bye.